Yo, 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 what's happening, people? We are live in the cut. We are live. It's Arsenal versus Liverpool match preview. We're live in it. We're going to be here with team news. We're going to be here with predicted lineups, with score predictions, thoughts on the game. If you're live in the chat, get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. It's Good Friday. It's Easter weekend, bank holiday weekend. Yeah, big week coming up for Arsenal. Um, can we get the win? Let's get into it. Yes, yes, yes. We are live. We're live in a cut. Big up for everyone in the chat. Let me know who is about, who is here for this match preview. As I said, it's Arsenal versus Liverpool at the Emirates this weekend. Um, listen, big game this week. But before we even get into that, before we get into the Arsenal Liverpool game, listen, we've had some sad news this week, and I'm sure you all know. This is our first video since the sad passing of Claude from formerly of Arsenal Fan TV. Big Arsenal fan. As I'm sure many of you will know. We've had him on the channel many a times. Claude from when we used to go down to the Emirates. Spoken to him many a times as well. Nothing but good words to say about him. Always loved the club. Always loved up for a talk. Always up for a laugh. There was a big Neeks interview when the famous net spend line came out of Mo. That was one of our first times at the Emirates. And that was actually an interview with Claude that Neeks was trying to do with Claude. And he was getting so frustrated that everyone just kept interrupting him, man, in the interview because all he wanted to do was just chat to us and everyone wanted to ruin his interview. So he got a bit annoyed. But listen, he's such a nice guy, Claude, man. So yeah, I just want to, before I even get into this video, I just want to say RIP to Claude. He will be sadly missed. The whole Arsenal community, I watch these videos still. Um, and so sad to see. Obviously, we had the passing of Heavy D earlier on in the season, and now Claude's gone. So, yeah, man. Thoughts and prayers go to his family, and close friends around him as well. And I know he's a loved fan of the community. A lot of us really like his opinions, and even if you don't like his opinions, he had nothing but love for the club. He loved Arsenal. He loved watching us play, even though he was frustrated with us most of the time. And obviously, famously told Wenger it's time to go. But listen, we'll always remember Claude, man, and yeah, very sad that he's gone. Um, Hopefully, Arsenal can do him proud this weekend and get the win against Liverpool. Get the win against Liverpool. So yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it today. Also, another bit of sad news this week as well. Before we get into the preview, was Lucas Torreira. Lucas Torreira, his mother passed away this week. So RIP to Lucas Torreira's mum, 53 years old. She caught COVID. I think she was in Is it Argentina or Uruguay? Something like that. There was an outbreak, and she caught COVID and unfortunately died. So RIP to her. But interestingly, after that, obviously with the comments from Lucas Torreira, is very. Listen, we know Lucas Torreira is very emotional. We've seen him almost in tears at the end of the Europa League final when we lost. Delighted to score in the North London derby. Like we'll always remember that goal from Torreira. But he came out in the media this week and said, "Look, I want to go. I want to go to Boca Juniors." I think it's one thing that his mum always wanted him to do. His dad has told him, like, "Look, I think you should go. I think you should go to Boca and play there." And he just come out to Argentine media and said, "Look, I want to go. Like someone needs to talk to Atletico, someone needs to talk to Arsenal, but I want to get out. I want to go over there." He said he struggled for the past 2 years. Obviously, his last year at Arsenal sort of fell out of favour with Arteta. Wasn't starting as many games. Emery obviously liked him a lot, and he did well under Emery. But yeah, last year at Arsenal, it just didn't really work for him last year. I think he struggled to settle to London life as well. I don't think he was really adapting. Obviously, COVID pandemic didn't really help that. So yeah, unfortunately, Lucas Moura didn't have a great season, and then he's obviously struggled this year. Can't get into the team. Obviously, Atletico top of the league. The players are all playing well. Can't get in at all. And Simeone's given him some time off as well. But he's basically said, "Look, I want to try. I'm handing in transfer requests essentially, and I want to leave. I want to leave the club, and I want to go play for Boca Juniors." And now Arsenal got a decision to make because look, Boca Juniors, I think their world record fee was like 10, 11 million pounds for a player they've paid. It's the maximum they've ever paid. So, we bought him for about 20 to 25 mil, and he's still got 2 years left in his contract. So, ideally, you want to reap a lot of that money back. But if he's desperate to go to Boca, then you're not going to get a lot of that back at all. So, will Arsenal accept the move, or are they going to hang out for an offer that they believe is right for him? Obviously, it's been difficult to prove himself how good he is this season because he's barely played. But yeah, man, Boca is a good is where he wants to go, and it's the club that his family always wanted him to. So I think he's desperate to go there. And now it's just up to Arsenal to find the right negotiation with him. Listen, we've got a lot of players out on loan that we may need to shift on the season. The likes of Maitland-Niles, apparently the rumours are that he's come out and said he wants to leave Arsenal. And I think he should. We arguably could have got rid of him last year against to Wolves, but turned that down in order for him to play here, but hasn't really played this season. When he hasn't really taken his opportunity. So I think he will go. Obviously, the likes of Joe Willock as well. Looks like he's playing quite well at Newcastle, having a decent end to the season. So I think it's probably time for him to go as well. It'll be interesting to see if we can find a club for him this summer. And you got the likes of Mavropanos, who's out in Germany. People forget about him. He's still on loan from us. I don't think he's going to be Arsenal future. So I think Arsenal should maybe look to sell him on. Probably not to Stuttgart, but because they probably won't be able to afford him, but someone else in Germany. I think that's probably right for him to go there. The likes of Guendouzi, he's in Germany at Hertha Berlin, having an average time out there, apparently not being his best. Did score for the under 21, the French under 21s this week, but 1 year left on his deal. He's got to go as well, surely. Guendouzi's got to go. And then you've got the likes of William Saliba, who we probably want to keep. I hope we want to keep him. But if Arteta doesn't fancy him, then we've got to sell him on for a big fee, because a lot of hype around him, and it looks like he's played well in France. I think he's actually a future Arsenal player. I think he'll come back, and I think he will play for Arsenal, whether it's next year he breaks through or the year after. I'm not sure. Depends on how he is, but I'd like to think that he comes in next season, gets the ground running, and potentially strikes up a partnership with Gabriel, maybe at the back, and then we'll go from there. Or maybe he becomes the backup to our main centre back. But yeah, big decision for Arsenal to make this summer. Big decisions for Arsenal to make this summer. So we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, but the big news obviously is Lucas Torreira desperate to go. Uncle Laurie RG is in the chat. Big up. He says the only fish I want to see this weekend is Liverpool flopping. Listen, happy Good Friday. I've made myself some ackee and saltfish this morning. I've got my fish for tonight. Fish Friday over here in the UK. A lot of us like to eat fish on Good Friday. So I love my fish. And I do love to see Liverpool. I do love to see the flop happen at Liverpool as well. I'd love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Yeah, so hopefully Liverpool can flop their way as much as they want tomorrow evening. Hala Madrid loves to try and bite me, innit? I miss Sabas. He's so good. You're gonna have him back. You're gonna have him back because I think his time's done. He's obviously one of the players we loaned in, but I'm pretty sure we ain't gonna do nothing with him this summer. I'm pretty sure he'd be one that would be leaving the club and getting right back to Real Madrid, and then it's up to you guys to see what you can do with him. But Erdegaard now, we might have to come to some sort of, some sort of negotiation with that, because this man's a baller. Erdegaard is actually a baller, and I don't know if he can fit in that Real Madrid squad right now. Depends what he might even be Champions League winners this year. Who knows? Players playing out of their skin, challenging for a potential league title when it looked like it wasn't going to happen. So listen, there might not be space for him, but there's certainly a spot. There's like an opening spot for Odegaard at Arsenal next season. So if you're willing to just have a conversation, take Sabas back, take Odegaard, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. Big up Hala Madrid for coming in the chat. Big game this Saturday. Arsenal versus Liverpool. Always a big game for me. My brothers are Liverpool fans as well, so always a family derby over here. Two of my brothers Liverpool. But listen, 4 points behind them in the league. I mean, you gave me that at the start of the season. I bite your hand off for it. Right now, I'm disappointed to be 4 points behind them. We should be above them, really, in the table. Like, we haven't been playing well, but somehow we find ourselves 4 points behind Liverpool. But Liverpool are in seventh, and we're in 10th. We still got, sorry, we're in ninth. We're in ninth. We played a game more than Aston Villa, but we're in ninth. And we've got Everton above us, Liverpool, Spurs, West Ham, Chelsea. So obviously a long way to go to get into Europe. I've already ruled it out. I don't think Arsenal getting into Europe this year, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, the players have to show some fight. Guys that are in the chat, please make sure you smash that like button for me, and subscribe to Neeks Sports if you're new around here. Hit that bell if you want updates for when we are next live. Down the bottom, I've got the fixtures coming up for Arsenal. So we've got Liverpool at home, Slavia Prague at home, Sheffield United at home. So 3 home games in a row. Did I write that correctly? Slavia Prague away, and then Fulham at home. Have we got 3 Premier League games in a row at home? No, sorry. Sheffield United's away. My bad. Sheffield United's away. Fulham is at home. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what we can do in those fixtures. This is the last of the 5 that I was going to say Arsene Wenger for a second. Now, Arteta said where Arsenal will go bang, and we should win all 5, or we aim to win all 5 games. We lost to Olympiacos, but still went through. I gave them a bye. And then we drew to West Ham. That was shocking. Poor. What? Considering we're 3-0 down, it's a decent point. But this is one of the games that Arteta said is a must win. We didn't win it. So now what happens? The last game of this 5 games is Liverpool. Are we going to beat Liverpool this weekend? Obviously, things are always different after the international break. So we'll see who comes back in what sort of position. Shane is in the chat. Big up, Shane. It says Ramsey, are Arsenal involved in the Haaland transfer deal? You're funny. You're funny today. We are not involved in the Haaland transfer deal. We're not even sniffing at Haaland. In fact, I hope all the other clubs sniff around Haaland so we can just swoop in on our target. I don't even know who our target is as a striker. I'd imagine we'd be looking at a striker. Obviously, Lacazette's going into his last year of his contract at Arsenal. Arteta has bigged him up, saying he's playing well, and he's happy that he's playing well. But for me, I think we need to be moving Lacazette on and maybe bringing in someone younger like an Edouard. But definitely not for Haaland. For Haaland, Hala Madrid need to soften Liverpool for us. Yes, Liverpool obviously got a big game this week. Real Madrid on Tuesday, I think it is, and we play Prague on Thursday. So yeah, we do need to soften Liverpool for you lot. But listen, we're going to do our best to win the game, and I think we will. I think we'll put out our strongest team. Whoever's fit, and I'll go into the predicted lineups in a bit, and the team news in a bit. But I think Arsenal will play the strongest team, and I think Liverpool will do as well because they need this win. They arguably need it more than us because they're the champions. They're the champions, and they're currently not even in Europe right now, European places. So yeah. Should Arsenal scrap the Premier League considering the Europa League is the only way you can get Champions League? I've said that already. Personally, I'm all for Arsenal just going for the Europa League this year, as I am usually at this stage most years. But considering the fact that we're not even in the Premier League running for Europe, really, I mean, points wise we're close, but lots of sides around us have games in hand, should I say? And yeah, I just don't feel like we've got enough to see it through. And we've got some tough games. Obviously, Liverpool now. We've still got to play Chelsea as well before the end of the season. So, listen, we've got to go and try and win it as many games as we can. Of course, the mindset of the players is going to be to go and win the games. But as we saw last week against West Ham, poor. sometimes we can turn up and just have an awful, awful game. So yeah, for me, it should be going for the Europa League, but others may disagree and say that the Premier League is where it's at. Moadar says a loss probably ends your hopes of European football. Does Arteta survive? Um, a loss, a win. I mean, I don't think we'll finish in Europe anyway. So like that's my call. I just think it's too late. I just don't think we're good enough to finish in Europe. Too inconsistency. Even if we do win tomorrow, I don't think we've got the consistency to go throughout the rest of the season. Like, listen, if we win every game from now to the end of the season, I guarantee we'll finish in a European place. But we won't. That's the fact. We will not win every game. Even if we beat Liverpool tomorrow, chances are we'll probably draw or lose to Sheffield United in a week next week. So like I don't think we're getting to Europe. And does Arteta survive? Yeah, he does for me. And the reason I say he'll survive, granted, I know that he would have missed his targets this year if we don't get European football. But I can see a style of football that I think he's working on with Arsenal. And if the football was the same as it was at the start of the season, I would probably say Arteta needs to go. However, the football's improved so much. We're creating so much more chances, taking more shots, playing with a lot more verve going forward. If that makes sense. Um, so for me, Arteta does survive, and he gets at least another year. But next year has to be the year that he improves the squad from being a mid-table team up to a potential top 14. He's got to improve that. And this is going to be, as I said, this is going to be a massive summer. You thought January was big. I think summer's going to be even bigger than January. A lot of players that need to go, and also that need to be replaced. Jota is a problem with a capital P. He is Diogo Jota, and we'll get into the Liverpool lineup as well. But there's an argument to say that Firmino comes back in. He's now fit, but Jota is on form right now. Scored for Portugal in a week, couple of times. Playing very well. It'll be interesting to see whether he plays with Firmino, Salah, and Mane, or whether he just actually now replaces Firmino. And how a lot of people are saying that they think he deserves to now start and the main Liverpool striker. So I'll be more worried against Jota than I would against Firmino. I'll tell you that for a fact. But Firmino also does have a good record against us, so I shouldn't even be saying that because he loves a goal against us all the time. If Arsenal don't beat Liverpool, then that's a bad result, is it not? Yeah, it is. It's a terrible result. I mean, Liverpool are the better team. Don't get me wrong, and it depends how the game pans out. But we don't want to lose the game. We still want to go and get something. We beat them at the Emirates last year. Granted, we sat back for most of the game, caught them on a couple of actually mistakes at the back, and beat them 2-1. But we rode our luck for most of the game, and I feel like if we do that today, tomorrow we'll get banged. So I think we got to actually bring the game to them and play within the lines like we have done against Spurs and see if we can get anything. Listen, defensively, they're likely going to be going for Nat Phillips and Kabak. So they're a defense that we can get at. We need to get at them. We need to show that we are the team, we are a better team than we were last year, and that we can try and beat them at the Emirates tomorrow. Right, I'm going to get into the team news for tomorrow because big team news came out today. David Luiz is out with a knee injury. He damaged his right knee and has some discomfort in there, so he's completely ruled out, which is a shock. No one saw that one coming. I guess he wasn't in training pictures, but not everyone is. Also, we heard that Xhaka missed training yesterday. Xhaka was ill and completely missed training. Like he missed training completely. Don't think it's COVID related. Like there's no reports that as a positive test has come out, so we've not heard it's COVID related. But he was ill on Friday and missed training completely. So why do I keep saying? I'm so confused. I get so confused. I figure today's Saturday. He missed training today. He missed training today, and so is a doubt for tomorrow's game. Saka did train today, but he will have a late fitness test, and Smith-Rowe is also a doubt. Willian is back fit after missing the past couple of games. Obviously, no international break for the South Americans, meaning that he was able to rest. Not that he gets chosen for Brazil at the moment. I don't think he does. But yeah, he's back and in contention to start tomorrow's game. So that all leads me nicely into my predicted 11, because after all that now, Arteta's got a few decisions to make. Who does he play up front? Who does he start at the back? Who does he play in the middle? Literally, like he's got some decisions to make. And even the wide areas now with the two young boys potentially injured. What is Arteta going to do? What is Arteta going to do? Um, Shane says, Ramsey, please tell me it's not true that Arsenal fans said that Arteta has Klopp. Broke Klopp. What does that mean? I've not heard this before. I've not heard this before. Broke Klopp. I mean, is it because that we beat them? But they also comfortably beat us 3-1 at Anfield this year. So yeah, we'll have to see. I don't. Arteta definitely hasn't broke Klopp. He's got a number on a couple managers, and your manager is one of them. So yeah, we'll see. Wilson's in the chat. Big up, Wilson. Thank you for coming on. I'm all good. I hope you are well. Teams in there: Leno, Cedric, Mari, Gabriel, Tierney, Partey, El Neni, Pepe, Erdegaard, Martinelli, and Lacazette. Wilson loves to put Martinelli in your lineup. You know Martinelli's not playing, so uh, you're trying it. But actually, you never know. A couple injuries, he may start today. The interesting part you put in there was the Mari Gabriel. I don't think Mari and Gabriel have played together, started the game together. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen that happen before. So probably because they're both left-footed, and obviously Arteta likes to play out from the back, and so you probably want to balance in the back. But yeah, I've not seen them play before. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. I'd be open to seeing if it works, personally. Whether he does it in this game, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But Mari's been good, very good this season. So has Gabriel in parts. So arguably he's our, future, main centre back at Arsenal without a doubt. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Shane says Arsenal fans say that Arteta has broke Klopp's tactics. Definitely not. I don't think so. I don't think so whatsoever. I don't think he's done that. Moda says if Arsenal to have a chance, my front four will be Orba, Laka, Smith-Rowe, Saka. You need energy and pace. Yeah, potentially. It all depends on whether Smith-Rowe and Saka are fit. All depends on whether they're fit. For me, Erdegaard has to play. The man is on form. Was brilliant against West Ham. Brilliant against Spurs. He's brilliant for Norway in midweek as well, especially in the first game. And he has to play. And there's no doubt about it. That's the one position I'm not got no doubt about. The others, question marks. Number 10 has to be Erdegaard. Has to play. The guy is moving too mad right now. Wilson says Liverpool are not the same team without Van Dijk and Gomez. They're vulnerable defensively. However, Arsenal need to be wary of Liverpool's attack. We do. No doubt about that. Liverpool got a strong attack, but their defense is where we can get at. And look, I'm gonna get now into my predicted 11, just so you guys can see what I'm kind of thinking. A similar sort of lines as Wilson had as well. So yeah, let's get into that now. And yeah, I'll show you where my head is at. This is the lineup I think Arteta will go for. So I'm going to go Leno in goal. Easy choice. He's not really got any other options. Right back, I'm going to go Bellerin. Could be Cedric, and I'm literally flipping a coin on this one. Could literally be Cedric. I just think Arteta prefers Bellerin as his main centre back his main right back in a big game. Having said that, Cedric played against Spurs, so could be either or. Could be either or. I'm flipping a coin. I'm gonna go at RCB with Rob Holding. I thought it was harsh that he got dropped for David Luiz to come back in a little while ago. And I think Arteta does want the balance, so I think he will bring Holding back in. He'll take Luiz out. Obviously, Holding hasn't played for a long while now. I can't remember last time he played. He didn't play the last week because it was Mari and Luiz. So I think Holding comes back in. I think Gabriel comes back in. Again, someone he didn't start last week against West Ham. You just felt like we missed him a little bit in back four. And I think he'll come back in. And there's absolutely no doubt in my head that Kieran must start. The man was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for Scotland this week. I didn't even watch Scotland like that. But I watched that game. 3 great assists. 1 low cross, 1 high cross, 1 driven ball from the back. The guy's got everything. He just has to start. Has to start. I've even bought him in the fantasy team. That's how much I like him. Partey, in the middle of the park, no doubt about that. He needs to start. He needs to work on that shooting. And I know Arsenal posted a goal he scored in training today, but every single week he smashes one right, left, high, in the stands. Poor man. I need to see some shots on target, please. Need to see some shots on target. Come on, Thomas. I'm gonna put Xhaka in there. I know he missed training today because he was ill, but he's the one that just always seems to start. So I think he'll start in there. I'm probably gonna agree with Wilson if he is ill that El Neni will probably start. But I think there's too much of a big game for him not to start. Just consider starting. As I said earlier on, Erdegaard is a must start for me in the number 10. It's like he's just in the form of his life right now. That sorry, I say form of his life. Form of his time at Arsenal. We're seeing the best of him at the moment, finding the gaps, finding the balls through. I think he needs to start, and it might be interesting. Obviously, see how he fares against Fabinho. If Fabinho is in the DM position, he may even be marked by Fabinho. But yeah, we'll see. On the right hand side, I'm going to go with Nicola Pepe. I don't think Saka will be fit enough to start. I know he trained today, but I can see him starting with Pepe. Obviously, we got Slavia Prague midweek. That is a bigger game for me than this week, even though this game is huge in terms of the team. Slavia Prague is the must win. So I think it will give Saka a rest and start him then. And the same thing with Smith-Rowe. I think Smith-Rowe, I know he's got a hip injury, so I don't know if he'll even be in the squad tomorrow, but I think he's got a chance to play next week. And so on the right hand side, this is what I think Arteta would do. I think he'll go with the experience. I think he'll go with Willian. He went with Pepe and Willian against Leicester a few weeks ago, and it worked well then. I think he'll go with that again today. And the big choice we've got up top. Does he go with Lacazette? Does he go with Orba? I'm going to go with Lacazette. Lacazette started against Chelsea and we got the win. He started against Spurs and we got the win as well. I think he starts today. I think he starts tomorrow against Liverpool, and I think Urba starts on Thursday against Slavia Prague. Um, in the big games, Lacazette does work. He's worked well in there. You know, arguably it may just be like stepping up for a penalty, but he's also got the hold up play. And it'll be interesting to see him play against Phillips and Kabak, or it could obviously go the pace of Aubameyang. Again, that one I'm flipping the coin. Could be either or. Could be either or. Um, but yeah, that's my lineup. That's a team that I think will start tomorrow. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about that. A few comments in the chat. Let me try and grab them. Wilson says Liverpool are not the same team without Van Dijk and Gomez. They're vulnerable defensively. However, Arsenal is superior. Liverpool's attack. Yeah, I said that already. Sorry. Ollie will get revenge on Arteta in the Europa League final if Arsenal make it. Well, Ollie, you better make it because all the talk is that he's Ollie quarter semi, Ollie semi final. That's as much as he can do. I've never even seen Ollie in the final. I'm surprised you're confident. I've never seen Ollie in the final, so very surprised you're that confident that you're going to win that game. Wilson says that he thinks that game at Anfield was closer than the 3-1 scoreline. Yeah, it was, but I just seemed like it was always going to be Liverpool win. Even when we came back, and they got the goal before half time, it just felt like they were always going to win that game. Will we have enough possession for Erdegaard? Maybe not, but when we do get the ball, we got to give him the ball and we got to find him. He's the one that's going to be able to find the gaps. I feel without him, like I just don't think we'll have that. I know, as I said, if Smith-Rowe's there, maybe, but because he isn't fully fit, it's like why would you risk an injured Smith-Rowe for a fully fit Erdegaard? I don't understand that. So yeah, I've got a feeling that Arsenal will get out from the game with Liverpool. Interesting. Yeah, I'm serious. Bellerin. That's that. Man, listen, this is the team I think Arteta would do. It's not what I would do personally, but I think Arteta like. I think Arteta likes Bellerin. I think he likes him, so I think he'll play. Um, yeah, Chambers had a good game against West Ham. That's true, he did. But again, I don't think he was there because of necessarily his qualities going forward. However, he did well going forward. But I just think with the pace in behind of Mane, I just think he needs someone a bit more quicker. So that's why I think Bellerin goes in. Bellerin shit and he gets exposed so many times. He could do, don't get me wrong. And as I said, this is not what I would do, but this is against the pace of Mane. and I just think he'll go Bellerin. That's what I just think he'll go Bellerin. I think he would. Partey's shooting is Fred levels. If Fred levels is bad, then yeah, I agree with that. I don't really know what Fred levels is like. But yeah, although I have seen a couple of bad ones from Fred, to be fair. But the thing is with Partey, I think if he catches it well, it can go top bins. It's just that he never catches it well, and he never goes top bins. So I want him to keep shooting because we haven't had a goal scoring centre mid for a long while. It's probably since Ramsey. So I wouldn't mind it, but get them on target at least. Make the keeper work. Don't just smash it over the bar. And there've been times when I think just lay it off to the side. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. And he just loves to bang it. Absolutely loves to bang it. But fair play to him. Shay's not been impressive party since he had one of the games. Listen, he's not been the greatest. I'd admit that. Even he admitted it himself. He's probably only had a couple of really good games. For me, dominated at Man United midfield at Old Trafford, and that's where I thought, yeah, the man is very, very good. And he had a good game against Wolves as well. But yeah, he's not been consistently great. And I'll be honest, I need more from him. I need to see more from him. I do, but has to play. Um, yeah, his shooting is awful and needs to improve on that. But for me, he just has to start in our team. Yeah, it's definitely a big game for Liverpool. They definitely need it more. Obviously, as I said, they got a big game this week against Real Madrid as well, so they need to be wary of that. But their focus has to be trying to get into the top four. Shane can see a boring draw. I disagree. I don't think it's going to be a boring draw. I think someone will get the win. I'm going off the fence and I'm going to say that someone will get the win. Personally, I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool. I'm going to say 2-1 to Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win it. I think they'll win it. I think they'll nick it 2-1. Wilson says it's going to be 2-2. I think it'll be 2-1 Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win it. I think we'll just have the edge with Jota, Salah, Mane over whoever we play. Pepe, Laka, Orba, Willian, Martinelli. I just think that Liverpool will have the edge going forward. I don't think we'll have enough to trouble them at the back. Hope I'm wrong. Praying I'm wrong. But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm going 2-1 to Liverpool. And hopefully we'll get the win. Listen, guys, thank you for watching the preview. Thank you all for joining me. It's been good. And hopefully, Arsenal can get the win. Guys, smash that like button. If you're new around here, hit subscribe to Neeks Sports. We love having you around on here. Yeah, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, thank you all for joining. I'll see you all again. Hopefully, after an Arsenal win. Peace out.